So, as indicated in my presentation, WISeKey was a private sector company in Geneva. Just to give you an introduction who I am the founder of WISeKey. Before that, I was an expert on cybersecurity and internet, working for the United Nations in Geneva during 15 years of my career. And in 1999, I incorporated WISeKey, which stands as a World Internet Secure Key, as a Swiss cybersecurity company. It was very early in the game. At that time, cybersecurity was not understood as it is today. We didn't have the attacks, we didn't have the hackers, we didn't have all this press around cybersecurity. So it was a company that not only broke the ice to get into this market, which is essential for the Swiss economy, but also it was a way for us to put some practice on theories we had at that time, and Switzerland could become a major player in cybersecurity. So, as you probably know, I'm sure you are, because you are maybe investors in many other companies, there's actually not too many success stories in Switzerland on a company from zero going all the private sector live and get listed in a Swiss stock exchange. That has happened in the history of Switzerland in technology maybe 3 or 4 times only, and no more. There's a lot of biotechnology companies. There's a lot of companies in sectors that they are traditional Swiss sectors, but in cybersecurity, in Internet of Things, in robotics, in cryptography, is actually WISeKey. It's nobody else. So in this picture, you see the founding team, which are also around myself here today. Mr. Philip Dubre, Mr. Kummer, and Mr. Peter Ward, which is our CFO, and myself. And we are just, we're very, in a proud day, demonstrating that it was possible, that a dream sometimes happens, and you can manage to bring a Swiss company to the Swiss stock exchange. So just to position a bit WISeKey. So the first of all is to understand the problem. Cybersecurity is a $1 trillion economy, but cybersecurity has been created, companies for cybersecurity has been created by countries where they had I would call a very strategic mind in how to bring successful cybersecurity companies to the stock market. And this coincides with where they are: Israel, in majority of the cases, the United States, some of them are now coming from Russia. And why is because they get huge support from day one. Actually, those companies in many cases are being founded by founders, and they have been working in government and living very prestigious government jobs to create a cybersecurity company. In some cases, they have been done by military, like the case of Israel. The Swiss defense system in Israel is a huge contributor to the ecosystem of the startups in Israel. Or because it's a very well organized venture capital market, like the case in Silicon Valley, where a very strong lobby, investment lobby, is available for companies. In Switzerland, we don't have anything of that. So Switzerland is in French we say démerdez-vous. I don't know how you say in English, but basically is try to do whatever you can, and if you succeed, you succeed. If you not, we're going to put a lot of blame on that, right? So that's the current situation in the country. It's maybe one of the hardest countries in the world, despite the money we have, despite the positioning we have in creating companies and bringing these companies to an IPO. So I'm saying that just to frame the complexity, because obviously as a shareholders of WISeKey, you need to understand the complexity of the market you're in. This is not a social media company like Facebook, then somebody you're worth hundreds of millions, and maybe you disappear a few years later, or a new one, Snap.com. You know? This is not a company that sells services. This is not a company that sells e-commerce. This is a cybersecurity. It takes longer because you need to build the trust. It takes a lot of money because you have to develop a lot of technology, patents, IP. And sometimes shareholder has to be longer than you are in anywhere else. But the good news is that it's like good wine. It takes a while before it becomes good, but once it's good for a long time. So once a cybersecurity company breaks through, once a cybersecurity company is positioned in a market such as Switzerland, then you have a platform where you can build for the future. So this is where WISeKey stands now. So we are really now, due to the Swiss neutrality, due to the fact that Switzerland is now recognized as one of the, maybe, best country in the world to locate cybersecurity and IoT companies,
Yeah, they do.
due to the neutrality and the government legislation, which is very favorable to net neutrality, protection of data, identity protections, and so on. Maybe now is the time where those companies will start to make a big difference. So WISeKey has, and this is how we build the company, a very clear growth opportunities in sectors, and they are now coinciding. So what happened when we created WISeKey is that everything was very confused. Despite the fact that in Geneva the World Wide Web was created, it was very difficult at that time to bring the forces together and make the company to start to generate a lot of revenue, because the market was still very immature. This market is totally changed now, because now you have 20 billion objects connected to the internet, what they call the Internet of Things. Because WISeKey has now 25 patents that they are used to be embedded now into everything, into mobile phones, cameras, because the Internet of Things is a $1 trillion economy. So suddenly, all these areas that before were separate, they are converging. The cybersecurity is converging to the internet is converging with the objects, the algorithms and the encryption is converting with the objects and the internet, and everybody needs those objects because, as I say, 20 billion objects are connected to the internet. So the monetization process of WISeKey is accelerating due to the fact that the market is mature. So this is how we look now. We have WISeKey, which is the root of trust, is the startup company, the original company. This company has now integrated WISeKey Semiconductors, which is the French company that we acquired from Inside Secure. They are chip manufacturers, they produce chips. And then we have WISeKey, which is a PKI, managed PKI company, very famous. Everybody uses WISeKey. WISeKey is being used for SSL certificate, and Roman later will give us more details. So WISeKey is acting as a platform. So rather than being only one company that does something, it's a platform that allows, because the root of trust and the trust model, to integrate companies that otherwise will have a huge difficulties to break through on the internet arena. So what we are doing now is to merging in a 1 or 2 year phases, which is, okay, what about if we combine the three offerings? What about if people don't buy chips, buy also security? People don't buy security, buy chips. People and they buy chips and security also buy data storage in Switzerland. So we are converging the power of the three companies. Taking into consideration that now there are new interceptions like DocuSign or Baja. Baja is a new contract WISeKey has done in India. They are putting 100 million chips in lamps, in LED lamps, then they connect to the internet. Baja is one of the largest conglomerate in India. So they need our chips, they need our security, they need our encryption, they need our root of trust as a way for them to be able to build the architecture. So this is what we are doing now. Only after 6 months of this integration, we are already starting to have synergies of clients that they before only buy one thing and suddenly buy other things from the company, which is obviously one of the major accelerators to the revenue generation of the company. And this is where we'll be by the end of the year. So WISeKey becomes like a platform where rather than selling one technology, you become a member of that platform, and that platform, once you're inside, will allow you to go from one place to another. So as you know, WISeKey is doing intelligent watches in Switzerland with Hublot. 1 million watches has been already certified by WISeKey. We are doing an intelligent watch, connected watch with Bulgaria. We are doing the Bulgarian work. So we are in the pharmaceutical industry, Novartis. So we have many clients now that they are saying, wow, I knew WISeKey only as this, but now I can also move into other centers of excellence of the company and continue acquiring services. One of the beauty of cybersecurity is very sticky. When you become a member or client of a cybersecurity company, you stay there for a long time, because basically you are entrusting that company with a lot of the key decision of your company itself. So identity management, encryption of your website, encryption of your data, loading data to the internet, connecting your objects, smart cars connecting themselves to the cloud, all that needs that technology. So once you become client, you become client again and again. I mean, in the case of WISeKey, they have 3,000 enterprise clients, and many of them they have had it for many years. So this is an interesting position because it will allow us to generate recurrent revenue. So this is basically how we scale from the natural cryptographic key, and this is the things that we are adding on the top of it. So it allows basically being on the silicon sector, chips. This is a big sector. Just to let you know that Qualcomm acquired NXP, which is a Dutch company, for $45 billion just a few months ago. And SoftBank acquired ARM, another silicon chip company, for $47 billion in England. So there's a huge consolidation going on this sector, and big companies are acquiring smaller companies because they need this technology to be embedded into the platform. Then you have connectivity, processing chips, software algorithm, devices, server infrastructure, cloud, and a user application. All that is now available within the WISeKey world. For people that have been with WISeKey many years ago, they will say, wow, I only remember you doing watches or doing people identity or doing the e-voting project in Switzerland because Geneva is being done by WISeKey originally, and now the company is aggregating. So it's becoming really a truly integrated platform. So this is how it works now in terms of the Vault IC integration. Those are concrete clients that we have. We are certifying watches, we are certifying wine, we are putting payment processors in cards, we provide payment cards to bank, we secure banks, we secure smart cards for health services, and so on. So this is becoming now a very dynamic sector because every single person needs security. You know, I don't know if you hear what happened 2 weeks ago with everybody getting infected on the internet. There was hacking in the United States with cameras were hacked and hackers managed to control the cameras because there was no security on the cameras. So everybody now is thinking, hey, I need to buy security. When I started the company, security was not required. So this is like, I don't know, you remember the AIDS epidemic? Suddenly people realized that millions of people were dying. And then all the laboratories of the world started to develop vaccines and treatments because they realized there was a global serious problem. So we are in that mindset on cybersecurity. We are at the infection level now. People are realizing that this is serious, that you can get your data totally encrypted in your laptop and you have to do something. So only that moment of awareness is happening now, but the possibility of replicating that in the future in terms of monetizing that is extraordinary. So this is clients that we have, just to give you an idea so where those clients are. So we have very big partners. I cannot disclose everything of everybody because those are work in progress. But those are the clients that they're already using WISeKey security and WISeKey technology. And again, Peter will give you later a much better view on the financials. But just to give you an example, when I listed the company was only a 3 million revenue. That was a small company with huge amount of network effect because we have millions of users. But it's like the WhatsApp model that was very difficult to monetize. Now the company has now a 58 million pro forma for 2016, and out of that is 10.9 million direct revenue. Already the first quarter of 2017 is bigger than the entire year, and this is growing. Why? Because the synergies between the three platforms are now starting to happen. So I give now the floor and introduce Bernard. He's going to give you a few words about IoT, the Internet of Things, and then Kovaris Roman will give you some visibility as well. Bernard, your turn. And I'll come back to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We'll go one step back. My name is Bernard Vion. I'm the general manager of WISeKey Semiconductor. I gave myself a mission. In 5 minutes, my mission is to explain to you what is semiconductor, because I believe it can be still very mysterious for most of you. What it is designed for, and number 3 is why there is a synergy, why the acquisition of WISeKey, of the semiconductor business of Inside Secure, and this convergence with WISeKey root of trust not only makes a lot of sense, but for this industry, for the IoT industry, it's a game changer. So number 1 is what is semiconductor? There are 10,000 of companies in the world designing chips. Chips, they are everywhere. Just to look at this room. There would be probably 10,000 of chips if we were counting everywhere. From 10,000, out of those 10,000 of chip designers, we are one of the six companies, not 7, 6, who are capable to design secure chips. Okay, so you're going to ask me, well, what's the difference between a chip and a secure chip? The secure chips, very simply, a secure chip is designed to host a piece of information, a key. Most of the time that's a key, an identifier, something, a piece of data, and we guarantee that this piece of data, whatever you do, you will, the hacker, the terrorist, the NIST, cannot extract this piece of data out of our chip. That's what we do. And we do it not because we say it, but because there are labs, those labs, there are very few labs in the world, they are habilitated by a Ministry of Defense of countries. These labs, they are spending months to do assessment, to attack our chip. And it's only after a few months that they have not been able to attack our chip that they give us a stamp. Yes, your chip is good, and Visa allows us to deliver our chip to the bank. So that's what we do. Semiconductor chip secure is that. This guarantee that a piece of information put in our chip cannot be extracted. And so immediately, what is it for? What is the use case? Well, very simply, this whole industry started in 91. I was somehow born with this industry. It started with the network, the telecom network company. They had to put in all our cell phones to put an identifier. And how to put an identifier that nobody could break, it was a chip. And soon after, it was spread out to payment. Visa and MasterCard, they adopted that technology. And I started my career in the US with Plus, and with my mission then was to evangelize Visa to adopt that technology. And then we went to pay TV broadcaster. They have to make sure that the TV that you pay for, I mean, that nobody can access to it if you have not paid it. Passport, obviously, any identification account. So that's what this technology is for. So now the third point is I was mentioning in my introduction is, okay, why it makes sense to have this technology merged together with Covadis and WISeKey OST technology. To explain that, I will take an analogy. What we do somehow is like a door lock. We are the people, so as WISeKey Semiconductor, we are the people designing the door lock. And we do that, okay, I have to say, very well. We are, again, one of the 6 companies in the world who have the stamp you can say, yeah, we are doing secure locks. But a door lock without a key is just useless. And in this industry, so far, this industry was designed, was laid out as there are the people doing the door lock, and there are the people doing the keys, managing the keys, operating the keys. What we do now together with WISeKey, with the WISeKey group, is we manage both, we control both technology. And for the IoT market, it's a game changer, because this market in terms of scale is going to be 10,000 times bigger than the passport, the payment card industry. And the challenge, the technology challenge, are going to be much bigger. In everything I mentioned before, when your Visa card, your passport, etc., is issued to you, it's it is done, and nobody's going to touch it. On a Visa card, the original name, there are your credential, done, settled. Tomorrow, this is going to be, on the, what you were mentioning, WIHN program, is to put identification on the lamp. It's the problematic, the challenge is completely different, because now the lamp shall be the ID that we're going to put on the lights will be provision on the what we call on the field. So we need to resolve that situation. How we can load a unique identifier, a credential on devices which is in the field. And this is where, because we control both the key services and the semiconductor piece, we can achieve that. And as a matter of fact, and that will be my last word, as a matter of fact, we are in this industry. This is this slide here. We try to map here all our competition, and we are the only one in this industry who manage all the pieces of technology that are necessary to do what I just described. There are big names, but we are the only one to do that. And you could say, okay, yeah, beautiful, nice, but and so what? What is important, the fact that we control both is from a cost perspective, because of the gain of the scale, the cost is an important factor, and we're not going to stack margin in our model. And as importantly, in every security system, it's always at the interfaces that the hacker, the intruders are going to make their way. And because we control both technology, we are making a hacker's life more difficult. So it is a game changer again in this movie, that we can control both. And that will be my last word.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roman Brunner. Carlos already mentioned we come to the Quo Vadis group from to the WISeKey group from the Quo Vadis world. I'm sorry. And the good news is Quo Vadis was originally founded through Zurich Financial Services, which is a very well-known Swiss company, as we all understand. With a vision at the time, same time as Carlos came in with the WISeKey vision idea, is to become a issuer of digital identities to the global insurance world. That was the original idea. Original ideas sometimes morph in certain directions until they arrive at the final destination. Bernard was talking about high quality, tamper-proof security chips that Voltasia are manufacturing. We are issuing high quality, highly accredited, trustworthy digital identities under a root of trust, next to the root of trust that WISeKey is operating, with a vision to consolidate these roots of trust to create a root of trust that is second to none, which is of course on the map. I don't want to walk through the details on this slide because you can clearly all read these slides, but I'd like to tell a little story about how our industry has gone from a very difficult to understand industry in terms of people looking at us saying, what is this certificate PKI stuff? We need to have a PhD in order to understand it. And it was very difficult in the beginning, because in order for you to actually use a digital certificate, you needed a USB token, you needed a middleware, you needed some add-ons, and you needed to do a number of things to be able to operate it just to securely communicate from one person to another using a digital certificate in an email application. We have been out there for approximately 18 years now. We've come from a place where people always said to us, come back to the table when your root of trust has been distributed to the point that you are on par with other major providers in the world, such as, for example, VeriSign, such as Komodo, GoDaddy, people like that. Many years ago, we've come to that place. We went to Europe. We started off in Switzerland in 2005. We went through different cycles of product development, and we created a platform that allows us to serve major enterprises, from very small to medium to large, to be able to outsource their needs for digital identity and secure communication to providers. Now, as part of the WISeKey group, with the idea to integrate digital identities with secure chips, as Bernard says, this is really a game changer. I definitely see the game changer because not only do we have the technology and the experience to inject digital identities into the chip technology, that is state-of-the-art chip technology, one within 6 in the world that can do the quality, but we're also able to lend the root of trust to this model that then again enables the identity to live in a secure chip, but be under a root of trust that people will recognize when they see or connect to this specific thing or this specific object that is out there. So of course, the Internet of Things world is tremendous, it's big. We see ourselves very much as managed PKI or a service to the IoT world to make the IoT world secure. And that includes the two components at large, and that's what we're looking at. So on the upper right-hand side, you see the proven technologies. Classically, we've been in managed PKI for enterprises that basically say, we put all our own stuff aside, we use the services of providers. There are many different variations, but basically we provide a platform that allows enterprises to deploy digital identities of different flavors within their enterprise, under a root of trust that is very, very trustworthy and has been out there for a long time. On the other side, which is one of the things that makes us unique, where you see the green boxes, is we have been in the digital signature business for a long time. So we provide the technology to companies that enable them to take the digital identity from the TrustLink platform and use that digital identity to actually sign a document using that certificate. So early on, our strategy was not only do we issue certificates because we are a major certificate pump, but we also give people the ability to use the certificate in a real-time situation to actually do something with a document to give it credibility that 10 years ago everybody said, yeah, what's a digital signed document? Now we have global signature laws, we have regional signature laws, we have European initiatives that harmonize a lot of the national signature laws to a level that allows enterprises to have European-wide, even global standards that allow them to exchange digitally signed documents that are under a root of trust, even within the Adobe Advanced Trusted List systems that enable them to have documents that are legally binding, recognized, no questions asked. So this is just a snapshot of some of our areas. You certainly like to see customer names. You certainly like to understand who are some of the people that are buying your services. I've taken a few names at the right-hand bottom just because you will certainly recognize these names. And they span cross-vertical. So one of the things that companies like WISeKey, the WISeKey group does is we go cross-vertical. We provide the technology regardless of the industry that our clients are in to be able to provide that security factor to their day-to-day business. With bringing the two companies together, i.e. VaultIC and Quo-Vadis integrating into WISeKey, we enter into a new era within the Internet of Things world that actually makes a lot of sense if you understand the story. The key thing is that people understand the story, and that's what we are working on. And it's an easy way to build that bridge because customers we have that are classical digital identity customers that use our technology to protect communication, to protect website traffic, to sign digitally signed documents. Those are the type of customers that some of them have a need to go the other side. So let's take on the previous slide with Bernard showed, Siemens was one of the clients, potential or actually existing clients of VaultIC that buy chips from VaultIC. What do they do with these chips? They implant them in Siemens technology that Siemens is selling. We have Siemens as a customer. We lend trust to the Siemens public key infrastructure that they run, so that their certificates and identities that are issued are actually trusted globally because they're under a trusted root. So if you take the Siemens example, we come from both sides, and it makes all the sense in the world to talk to Siemens and say, digital identities, secure chips, you know both. Let's converge those, and let's go into providing new services in the Internet of Things world. Now you can transport that model, and you can go to Bosch Industries, for example. You can go to GE Digital, Global, and you can go to a car manufacturer that is one of the first car manufacturers in our neighboring country. And I'm not having the logo on here because we're under non-disclosure, but I can assure you that this car manufacturer is launching the first range of cars that they call connected cars. What do they need? They need digital identities to go on these cars, so these cars can connect back to plant and can be accessed by service providers around the world to do maintenance, activation, deactivation, different things that are actually controlled by digital identities. So you see the amazing world of whether it's secure communication, people-to-people encrypted, whether it's signing a document which is digitally signed, legal compliance, legal identity, so to speak, legally binding, or whether, if we go to the next slide, it is as simple as providing secure socket layer protection for people like all of us in here that are either clients of Raiffeisen Bank, or clients of ABN AMRO Bank, or clients of BHF, or clients of Lloyd's, that every day log on to their e-banking and check their bank accounts. You probably have noticed that when you do that, something happens at the URL bar that basically tells you you are secure now because your connection from the browser to the website is now encrypted using technology of a provider that has all the necessary accreditations to be able to provide that service to you. If we would not have that ability to do so based on the accreditations and root ubiquity, all of these people on here wouldn't even ask us to come see them and have a cup of coffee with them. That goes back to the 17 years of presence in these marketplace. So in short, I just wanted to give you a view of, in the real world, where do you encounter the things, the services that come out of WISeKey providers Vault IC that in your day-to-day life you probably haven't realized until now. So next time you receive an email, next time you log onto a website, next time you get in touch with something that could be digital identities, it's very likely that behind that you see a root of trust that you will recognize. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Bernard and Roman. Just an anecdote on that technology. You know, the email that we receive from our auditors, which are here, is actually digitally signed by Kuvatis. So Kuvatis is already being used to digitally sign emails from very reputable institutions here in Switzerland. So as you remember the 3 slides I showed you at the beginning, where you see the convergence happening. So this is where the potential is, and this is why we acquired these companies. And by the way, this is the first time a Swiss company acquiring foreign companies. Normally it happens the other way around, right? Then foreign companies acquire Swiss companies, which is allowing WISeKey to become what we call a platform. So in the internet of the future, there's going to be several platforms. Google, just to give you an idea, Google just acquired about a month ago Global Sign. Global Sign is a cryptographic root key in competition with WISeKey. So Google acquired Global Sign. Why Google acquired Global Sign? Because Google wants to become, like WISeKey is, a trusted platform on the internet. And Google is acting as a monopoly. The word out there is that very big companies like Facebook, like Google, like Amazon, like Microsoft, they are buying everything they can, including blockchain and artificial intelligence, so they can act as a platform. So a platform of the internet is equivalent to have your own porte-avions, you know, aircraft carrier, you know, that you see in the sea, where you have so many planes landing and go and putting bombs and returning. If you don't have that, you don't have the possibility on the internet to be independent. Means that you will have to put your planes or your technology in somebody else's platform. And that is the big opportunity of WISeKey now, is that for first time, Switzerland has an internet platform. It's still not the size as those companies are, because we just started. But we do have now a vertical platform where we control the cryptographic root key. This is Swiss. It's a store in, you'll see a video in a few minutes, store in a Swiss mountain. You have Swiss encryption, Swiss identity, Swiss chips, Swiss blockchain integration, so you can go from the root all the way down to the installation of the chip anywhere in the world by giving to your clients the 100% insurance that this is a Swiss platform. No backdoor to the NSA, no CIA looking at you, no data being transported to another country. Everything stays in Switzerland. And that's unique. That's unique. It takes a while to build because this is not the largest country in the world, so the consumer market is very small, so you don't have the immediate revenue. But once you become a platform, the network effect is there. So this is where we are now. This platform that we built with the help of the companies we acquired can solve critical issues on the internet. The theft issue, every day you see somebody being hacked, and hacking is going to be more and more. Actually, the next hacking is coming. It's hackers being able to shut down electricities on hospitals, shutting down traffic lights on cities, shutting down critical infrastructure in bridges. So this is the new attacks coming. The attacks are getting more sophisticated, and at the same time, more things are connected to the internet. So the theft is a problem that the platform solves with a digital identity that Roman explained. Then you have the possibility of ensuring privacy, because sometimes by trying to solve a problem, you create another one. By trying to solve a cybersecurity problem, you just send all your data to a server in the United States, and then you have a privacy issue. Then your data will be data mined, and you will use your privacy. So WISeKey handles privacy maybe better than nobody in the world. We always encrypt the identity of the person of the object, and we provide the activity of the person of the object, but it's never an association of who you are with what you do. The what you do is public. You might play golf. I know you don't mind to disclose that, but you don't want to disclose who you are, where you live, where is your geolocation. So that's the privacy. And then is the safety. It's a lot of things. This IoT industry, we are just at the beginning. For the moment, we know how to do watches, cars, and some things that they are already sensitive, because you can kill a person on a car if that car is being hacked. But in the future, Philips is now putting IoT connected pacemakers in your heart. So imagine a hacker being able to hack you in an airport through an unsecure Wi-Fi connection into your implant, so people can die. So this is becoming a very serious issue where the safety is now into consideration. And the last point of the platform is the productivity. You become much more efficient, better. You reduce costs, you increase ARPU, you increase your productivity and your revenue. In the case of Bajaj Electric, which is an Indian company producing hundreds of millions of lamps, but they don't know who those lamps clients are, where those lamps are located. They don't have this data. With our technology now, they know their clients, they know the location, they know the consumption, they know all this big data, which then comes back to them, and they are able, through artificial intelligence and machine learning capability, to get prognostics. So they can get very detailed intelligence on the behavior of those devices. And this is what it's all about. People are now want to know, ABB in Switzerland would love to know what those devices they sell do. They don't know now. ABB doesn't know what the devices do. The manufacturer, General Electric, is now talking to us to retrofit all the General Electric products. Then they are sitting everywhere in the world collecting tons of intelligence, but General Electric is not yet able to collect that data because they don't have the chips to put it. So this is the next business opportunity, being able to resell as a company, as a platform, that big data. So, and we're entering now slowly into a more financial possibility about how big WISeKey can be. And again, we are in a situation here where, and Thomas Bieri will explain a bit more the evolution of the share price. I know some shareholder has been asking, why, if all that is so great, why you're not, share price is not $20, $30, where you are 3 or 4, whatever we are now. So first of all, tell you that WISeKey is totally undervalued in the Swiss stock market. Okay, this is a statement that can be proved by many things, factors, IP patents that we have. We have now 25 patents. We have cryptographic root keys. We have revenue, which only on the revenue valuation will be 1 times revenue. No cybersecurity company in the world is 1 time revenue. The minimum you get is about, which are these companies. These companies are all 10 to 15 times revenue. And they are all of them super billion plus company. RSA was acquired by EMC and then was acquired by Dell for several $billion, $2.4 billion. CyberTrust was acquired by Verizon, which is a telco in the United States. VeriSign, which is originally actually invested in WISeKey, is now acquired by Symantec. Symantec wants to enter into IoT. All these companies wants to be what WISeKey is now already. They have some components. They have huge amount of revenue because they have a huge market. So whatever they do, they can sell hundreds of millions of times, which is not our case here. But one of the things they don't have is the IP, and actually we block them in many areas. For instance, if Symantec wants to go and put digital identification and connect objects to the cloud, this is part of the IP protection that WISeKey has, both in the United States as we have patents. So the possibility of expanding the market cap of WISeKey are endless. It just require, obviously, then we have a bigger volume on shares, then we are able to put, and this is what is happening now, the WISeKey is going to do an ADR3 in the NASDAQ because the Swiss market volume is very small for this type of companies, as we are the first one. Some people say, why WISeKey is not well understood in the market? It's because we are we are the first one. There is nobody else. If you create a biotechnology company in Switzerland, you can report to Novartis or 100 others that have gone through that process. But the Swiss institutional market do not have any other reference than WISeKey in the Swiss market. So we are the pioneers. The next one is going to come. It's going to be much easier because they can compare to WISeKey, whether currently we have no comparison into the market. So partnerships, very powerful. The monetization program in place now. As I say, our revenue has just exploded in less than 1 year, and it's going to be growing and growing because the network effect that Bernard and Roman explained, but also because now very big organizations like SAP, MasterCard, we launched the Bulgarian Connected Watch. MasterCard signed a partnership agreement on WISeKey, which allows MasterCard payment now to be embedded at the chip level, so objects can pay directly. Nobody knows how to do that. CenturyLink, one of the largest telcos in the United States, which now just acquired a company with $60 billion acquisition, is now using WISeKey as a managed PKI. CenturyLink is going to manage PKI services for us in the United States. So we are together with Covadis install a managed service inside CenturyLink, and CenturyLink serves telcos facility to the top 500 companies in the NASDAQ. And CenturyLink is going to be offering that from September this year. We have Microsoft. Microsoft has, in the history of WISeKey, done many projects with WISeKey, but now Microsoft selected WISeKey as one of the lead partners of digital identification for the smart cities, a project with an ACP. So, as I say, the new business model is progressive from only selling certificates, selling chips, selling identities, which Roman explained was hard sale because people did not want to pay for it. It's like when the cars didn't have seat belts, people say, why are you going to pay for a seat belt? I mean, it should not be me paying, that should be the car manufacturer should cover that cost. So we are in that thinking that the cybersecurity should not be paid by the end user, but by the organization that is selling you a service. So UBS should pay for the cybersecurity offering you services, or Zurich, or all those institutions, because if they don't, they can put you at risk. So we're moving from that business model of going client by client to go into a more platform effect business model, which is if you enter into WISeKey through any of the WISeKey doors, whether that is buying chips or being a managed provider, as Roman explained, you can benefit from a huge other possibility of continuing buying products and services from the company. So that is organizing. The sales force has been really structured, organized. The company, when we listed, we were only 20. Now we are 190 in less than 1 year. So 20 to 190. I don't know if you understand what that growth is in 1 year, the complexity of that growth. The management team is totally synchronized. There has not been any rejection effect of buying a company and suddenly the company not being able to work with the culture and the nationalities. We are in so many countries. We managed to handle that. So we are all Swiss now, although there are WISeKey is in Japan, in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Bermudas. All of them they think as a platform, as a Swiss platform, and all of them they are totally focused in increasing their revenue as a platform. So this is the future, and one slide only to explain that this is where we are going. We have launched a 2017-2018 very aggressive move to add two components into the WISeKey platform, which are components for the future, what you call big tech or technology-based algorithms. One is blockchain. Blockchain decentralizes the identity of the objects through decentralized ledgers that everybody can see. So let's say that BMW puts a chip in all the BMW spare parts. The blockchain will take that chip identity, will put in a ledger, and all the BMW manufacturers, piece manufacturers, clients, garage, everybody will be able to check that identity and add value in that identity in the ledger. So we're also teaming a strategic announcement, which is going to be announced within the next month, with artificial intelligence companies. WISeKey is installing an open source AI, which is available now to us inside WISeKey. Actually, today we have announced an intelligent chip that is already connected to this AI platform, because we are going to be producing a lot of data. The goal on the internet is data. Data is the value. If you own data, you're worth a lot. So WISeKey owns a lot of data, because all the data these objects produce, they're being sent first to us and after to the record. So for the moment, we don't sell the data.